Welcome to the Artwork of You, the podcast where your life is the canvas and you are the masterpiece. I'm your host, Lori Gouhin, and together we'll explore creativity, self-awareness, mindset, goal strategy, and the importance of accountability so that you can paint your life's portrait with confidence and ease. Remember, in the gallery of life, you're not just a spectator, you are the art. So let's grab our brushes and start creating the masterpiece that is you. Hello, my friends. I am so glad that you're here with me today because today I want to talk about Thomas Troward and his book, The Edinburgh Lectures on Mental Science. To me, this isn't just another book. It's one of those books that feels like it was written just for me. I don't know if you've ever read something and it's like the author's putting the words exactly like what you've believed, but never quite knew how to articulate. That's what this book did for me when I first read it well over a decade ago, probably like 15 years ago, because these ideas were new to me at the time. The lectures in the book, they explore the power of thought and how our minds are not just passive observers, but active creators of our reality. I've read this book so many times, and each time I discover something new that resonates even deeper. And today I want to share with you the key ideas from his work that have really shaped my thinking, my life, and even my approach to coaching. And so whether you're already familiar with him and some of these ideas or not, or if this is your first introduction, I think you're going to find the ideas both thought-provoking and incredibly empowering. So let's jump in and talk about how the power of thought, the universal mind, and the laws of the universe can transform the way that we really see ourselves in the world around us. So first, let me give you a little bit of background. Thomas Troward, he was a British judge that turned metaphysical thinker. I don't know if he was the founder, but really did play a significant role in the New Thought movement. He had a very analytical mind, and he brought a unique depth to the study of mental science because he blended logic with spiritual principles. And his work really laid the groundwork for so many of the self-help and personal development ideas that we see today. And one of the most powerful ideas that he presents in his lectures is the idea that our thoughts are creative forces. So he wasn't just saying that positive thinking is a good idea. He was saying that our thoughts literally shape our reality. And so, of course, I'll have to use this comparison. It's like we're an artist and our minds are the paintbrushes. And so whatever we focus on, whether it's positive or negative, is what we end up creating in our lives. And for me, this idea really was a game changer. It made me realize how much control we actually have over our circumstances. And when you really grasp that your thoughts are the cause and everything that you experience is the effect, it really shifts your whole perspective. You start to see how important it is to guard your thoughts and to focus on what you want rather than what you fear. And I've seen this play out so many times in my own life. When I've been intentional with my thinking, the results have been incredible. And yet when I've let negativity or doubt take over, well, let's just say the outcome was not that great. It's so practical too. He doesn't just leave you with theory. He talks about how to actually apply this in your daily life by really committing to the idea that your mind is the master key to everything that you want to achieve. Another concept that really resonated with me is his idea of the universal mind. He describes it as this infinite creative intelligence that permeates everything, like the underlying force of the universe. And what's amazing is that he believes, and I've come to believe too, that our individual minds are directly connected to this universal mind. And it's like we have a built-in connection to this vast, limitless source of creativity and power. And when you start to think of your mind as not just your own, but as part of something much larger, it really changes the game. And, I like to say a lot of the times, and I'm sure many of you think this as well sometimes, that we're in a simulation or that life is really a game. And so when you know the rules, it makes the game a lot more fun. It's like realizing that you have this incredible resource at your disposal, and all you have to do is learn how to tap into it. And Troward emphasizes that this universal mind operates according to specific laws that we can understand and use to bring about the things that we want in life. And what I love about this idea is that it takes away the feeling of being at the mercy of external circumstances. And instead, it puts the power back in our hands, or rather, in our minds, right? By aligning our thoughts with the principles of the universal mind, we can start to see real changes in our lives. You can turn it into creative flow and allow it to work through you. And this concept has given me such a sense of empowerment because it means that no matter what's happening around me, I always have access to this infinite potential. He also talks about the law of growth. He explains that growth is a fundamental law of the universe. Everything is always in a state of expansion, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual. It applies to us as well. Our thoughts, our ideas, our abilities, they're all meant to grow and evolve continuously. And what's interesting is that he doesn't just see growth as something that happens to us passively. He believes that we have the power to direct our growth by consciously choosing what we focus on and nurture in our minds. So, whatever we consistently think about, we're watering and helping to grow in essence, whether it's positive or negative. And for me, this was a wake up call many years ago to be more intentional about where I'm directing my mental energy. At the time I first read this, about 15 years ago, I was homeschooling my kids. I was a stay-at-home mom. Taking this information to heart did make me become more intentional about where I was directing my mental energy. And if I wanted to see growth in a certain area of my life, I needed to be feeding it with positive thoughts, positive ideas, and positive actions. And on the flip side of that, if I'm not seeing the results I want, and I apply this to my life now as well, it's a reminder to check in with myself and see what kind of thoughts I've been cultivating. This law of growth that he calls it has really helped me to stay focused on my goals and to keep me moving forward. And when things seem slow or challenging, it's allowed me to become certain that as long as I keep putting in the right kind of energy, growth will be inevitable. And one of the most practical teachings from his work is the power of concentration. He believed that focused thought is the key to manifesting whatever we want in life. It's not enough to just think positively or have good intentions. We need to concentrate our thoughts with intensity and purpose, he says. And he explains that concentrated thought has the power to direct the creative energy of the universal mind towards your goals. And this idea really did hit home for me because it's so easy to get distracted in our everyday lives. Our minds can be all over the place, jumping from one thought to another, and that really dilutes our mental power. And he emphasized that concentration was the way around this. And it made me realize that in order to bring something into reality, I need to give it my full, undivided attention, to be present and fully engaged with the process and not just going through the motions. And I found that when I really focus on what I want to achieve, whether it's through visualization or meditation or just sitting quietly with my thoughts, things start to happen. As all the scattered energy suddenly comes together and it starts moving in one direction. And it's not just about thinking, though. It's about feeling and believing with every part of your being that what you're focusing on is already yours. His teaching on concentration really remind me that I have the power to shape my reality, but I need to be deliberate and intentional with my thoughts. And when I apply this level of focus, I've seen incredible shifts in my life. It really makes everything clearer. And then I'm able to put a plan of action together. So let me share some of the ways that you can practice this kind of concentration that he talks about in the book. Number one is visualization. He emphasizes the importance of visualization as a form of concentrated thought. And he taught that by vividly imagining a desired outcome with all the details, color, shape, feeling, sound. You're effectively planting the seed in the universal mind. And this is the key. You have to hold that image in your mind with unwavering focus, as if it already is a reality. When you're consistent with this kind of concentration, it really does help bring the imagined scenario into actual existence. And they say that your subconscious doesn't know the difference between reality and not reality. So you just hold that vision in your mind as if it's really real. He also believed that scattering your mental energy on too many things weakens your power of thought. And he encouraged practice single pointed attention, where you focus on one specific goal or idea at a time. So for instance, if you're working on a particular project, concentrate solely on that project without letting your mind wander to other tasks or worries, because this kind of deep focus really amplifies the effectiveness of your mental efforts, and it makes it more likely that you'll achieve your desired outcome. And I know that this is what allowed me to launch my podcast in 30 days with tremendous success. And this is something that I really work with my clients on as well, because when you try to focus on too many things at once, people think they can multitask, and not even just like in the moment multitasking, but just having too many goals on the table that you're working on simultaneously. It dilutes the effort. It's really good to just focus on one until it's completed, and then you move on to the next. He also recommended setting aside a time each day to practice the concentration. And it could be done through meditation, where you focus your mind on a single word, an image, or a thought, and you exclude all the other distractions. He believed that just like a muscle, the mind gets stronger with regular exercise. And when you consistently practice the concentration, you enhance your ability to direct your thoughts really with precision. And that makes it easier to manifest your goals. Another thing he talked about was overcoming mental drift. And what he means by mental drift is that when our thoughts wander without direction, he suggests catching yourself whenever your mind starts to drift and gently bringing it back to focus to your intended thought or goal, because this practice of redirecting your attention really strengthens your mental discipline, which is really crucial for concentration. And, this can be applied to reading as well. Way back in the day when I was studying to be a teacher, it was like I learned in college that I never really was taught how to read. Could I read? Yes, I could read. Could I comprehend? Yes, I could comprehend, but I didn't read with focused attention. And I would find I'd get to the bottom of a page and not even really remember what I had just read, because I'm reading technically, but my thoughts are elsewhere. And so if you find yourself the same when you're reading, your mind wanders all over the place, just remember to pay attention, to be aware, bring your thoughts back to the page, back to the words in front of you. And he also talked about affirmations, like many of the people in the New Thought movement and many of the self-help people today. But he taught that affirmations become far more powerful when you combine them with concentrated thought. So, for example, instead of just repeating a positive statement like, I am successful, or I am rich, or whatever it is that you want to affirm, he advised that you concentrate so deeply on the meaning of that affirmation and visualize what it means to you. So, for example, if it was, I am successful, visualize what success looks like, feel the emotions associated with it, and immerse yourself in that experience, because this intense focus will infuse that affirmation with more energy and make it stronger so that you manifest your desires more quickly. Now, one thing he didn't say is that all of this is easy, because he recognized that the path to manifesting our desires isn't always smooth. And one of the key challenges we face is mental resistance, really. And he believed that doubts, fears, and negative thinking are like the mental obstacles that can block the flow of creative energy from the universal mind. And so these obstacles can slow down or even completely derail our progress if we don't address them. Another one of his teachings that really resonated with me is the idea that we need to actively overcome these mental barriers by consciously choosing our thoughts. He suggested that when we encounter doubts or fears, that we shouldn't just ignore them or try to push them away. Instead, we should confront them head on and understand that they are simply products of our own minds. They are not absolute truths. He encouraged the use of positive affirmations as a way to counteract negative thoughts. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by fear or doubt, you can create an affirmation that directly opposes that negative belief. But as we discussed earlier, it's not just about saying the words, it's about concentrating on the affirmation with full belief and conviction, because you're essentially reprogramming your mind to replace those old limiting thoughts with new and empowering ones. And what I find most empowering about his approach is that it puts us in the driver's seat. We don't have to be victims of our own negative thinking, because by consciously choosing our thoughts and focusing on positive, constructive ideas, we overcome the mental obstacles that hold us back and keep us from moving forward towards our goals. And the practice of actively managing our mental state is something that I've found incredibly valuable in my own life. And I think it's something everyone can benefit from. And so to wrap it up, I think one of the most powerful aspects of his teaching is in their practicality. While his ideas can seem philosophical and even abstract at times, he always brings them back to how we can apply them in our everyday lives. So it's not just about understanding these concepts intellectually, but it's about living them day in and day out. And don't forget the importance of patience and persistence. because he was clear that growth and manifestation are processes that unfold over time. So stay consistent with these practices, even when you don't see immediate results. Trust the process. Know that every positive thought, every moment of concentration, and every act of faith is moving you closer to your desired outcome. And I want to leave you with one final thought. The ideas and principles from his book, The Edinburgh Lectures on Mental Science, they're not just theoretical. They're tools that you can use to transform your life. But like any tools, the power lies in how you use them. So take what resonates with you, apply it consistently, and you'll see that your life will begin to shift in ways that you might not have even thought possible. So if anything I've talked about today has sparked something in you, if you're ready to take control of your thoughts and harness that power of the universal mind, and really truly start manifesting the life you want, I would love to support you on that journey. Whether you're looking to overcome specific challenges or set and achieve big goals, or really simply just align more deeply with your purpose, coaching with me could be the catalyst that you need. As a coach, I help you to apply these powerful principles in a way that's tailored really to your unique life and goals. Together, we'll work on mastering your mindset, overcoming any mental resistance, and creating a clear, actionable plan to achieve the success and fulfillment that you're striving for. So if you're interested in exploring what it might look like for you, I invite you to reach out so that we can take these ideas and put them into action in your life. That's a wrap for today, my friends. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And remember to show up in your life like the masterpiece you are, because you are the artwork. Please subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Have a fabulous day.